Mary Fulbrook's book, Reckonings, made me deeply uncomfortable when I read it, and I mean that as a recommendation, because it told me a story about my continent, about Europe, that I think I hadn't fully absorbed, that the liberal, democratic elements of it, which seem to be so prominent, are actually underpinned by the still unresolved legacy of the Nazi period in Germany.
Reckonings is an extraordinary look at the whole span of the Nazi regime from the early 1930s until today, because it covers not just the events of the Nazi regime itself, but also the legal implications and arguments after the war, and then the place of the Holocaust in memory today. It's a very moral book by the end, but during the different sections as I read it, I was struck by the clear, objective delineation of the facts, constantly interspersed with human stories. I found it harrowing, absorbing, and extremely well written.
There are surprisingly few books that weave together the history of the Holocaust itself and the aftermath of the genocide. So this book is quite unique in offering that perspective that brings together various strands of investigation and various micro-studies that have been done previously. Yeah, this is an extremely important and extremely interesting book, even for people who know a lot about the Holocaust and who are familiar with the vast literature that exists out there. Mary Fulbrook manages to say something new about this subject. There's a clear argument, there's a very clear new structure that she offers by combining both the events as they unfold in Europe after 1939 and then after 1941, and the history of the legacies of the Holocaust.
What recommends Reckonings as a Cundill Prize finalist are a combination of its analytical and archival mastery and its clarity, so that it is a book that speaks to specialists in its many subfields of history, but also invites non-specialists and lay readers into an enormously tangled place and time with a guiding hand that is powerful and inviting.
It is a remarkable work in its research and its ability to tell a very complex story very clearly and with a clear moral tone that addresses the plight of the survivors and of the victims and asks us how we today are to reckon with this searing episode in our history.